Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once again today. I don't know if you'll be happy or sad, but this is my last post with the Stunning Midnight collection for Anna's Craft Cupboard, and this is the layout that I created. I'm going to start off by saying I added more after I turned off the camera. Um, I came back to look at it once I thought I'd finished and felt like I needed to add more to the top left. So you don't see me build that cluster, but it's exactly the same as the way I put the bottom on the main cluster. So I am working on the Shine Bright paper from this collection. I'm using that stunning wood grain. I wanted something that was fairly neutral, just for something different. And I knew that I wanted to add in some dry paint strokes. I have a limited amount of acrylic paint, but I managed to find a navy and a black. When I mix them together, I get the right color. I thought I'd leave this little bit in so that you could see exactly how I came up with my color. You can see I've got a little palette there. I'm adding the black to the blue, and I'm going to try it out, and it comes out way too black. I'm like, oh, that's not right. So I'm just going to keep mixing color until I get just the right shade here. You will see me dry the paint off and then go over the top again. The black just kind of took over, so I ended up with a fair bit of paint. You may have seen what I did with the leftover paint. I added a bunch of water and did some stripes and some splatters on a white cardstock background. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but that's part of the fun, right? So I've got my colour right, and I was like, okay, just be brave. So I literally just started painting colour on. I really love the look of the brush strokes, so that's what I was aiming for. I'm literally just slapping some paint onto the page. You would have seen before that I had marked out where I knew my main clusters were going with a pencil, because I didn't want the paint to go too far. So the big floral clusters that I'm using here are cut from the pattern paper, and it's called Bloom and Grow. In the last layout I shared before this one, I did show you what I'd cut out, and that's what I'm using here. The leaf at the top is from the ephemera pack, and you get to just see me adding in some bits and pieces here. So I haven't used my heat gun on this at all to dry that paint because it was such a thin coat. It dried really quickly, so my page has hardly warped as well. I'm just adding in a few bits and pieces where I think they look good. Some of it stays, some of it goes. I realized at this point that I had nowhere to tell my story, and with the title being This Beautiful Story, I really felt that, besides me always adding journaling, that I had to make sure that I got the story on the page. So the photo is of my younger sister and my nephew, Emmett. He was 1 in May, and my youngest child. Now, my youngest child is the youngest on my side of the family, and when baby Emmett was born, it was quite apparent to my youngest that suddenly he was not the youngest anymore, because all of these adults were paying attention to this baby. This baby, I mean, like, this baby doesn't even do anything. And if I was holding Emmett, Hunter would come and climb on my lap and be all like, "Hi, Mum, I love you." Same with both of Emmett's parents. If my older son was with Emmett, Hunter was suddenly like, "Oh, Jacob, you're the best thing ever." Um, but he, like, you could see that he was trying to work out where he fit, because he was no longer the baby of the family. And it was really quite entertaining to watch. But this day, my sister had come to visit us at home, and she was saying that Emmett had rolled over, and I was like, "Oh, let's see if we can get him to do it." So she had him on the floor, and Hunter realized that baby Emmett was a baby that was now doing something, and it was all very exciting for him. So he went and sat with Rhiannon, it's my little sister, while she was on the floor with Emmett, getting him to roll. And ever since then, Hunter is Emmett's new best friend, and he thinks he's awesome, and he likes to hang out with him. He's no longer that pesky baby that is just a baby. It's really funny to watch. Um, so yeah, this photo is from, I think, October last year, so it's about 12 months old. Emmett is now obviously on the move. He's running around. Both of my boys dote on him, and considering where Hunter started, it is really quite entertaining to watch him with Emmett. So that's the story behind this layout. And I've just put, so that tag that I made from the pattern paper, I put my journaling on there. Um, it really cracks me up because this is the child who, when he was 2, was, I'm not a baby, I'm not your baby, I have never been a baby, go away from me, I don't like kisses, and it's just a complete turnaround. So I've got the date on the back of my photo there, and I'm just scribbling that onto the back of the tag so that I can remember to include it on the page. Backing my photo and the top of that cluster, so I've attached story to the photo, right over the photo, and then beautiful, so it's half on and half off the photo. I'm just using some scrap paper here to back that foam so that that tag will slide in and out much easier. And I'm just going to start building my layout. I kind of am all over the place the way I'm building this. I kind of build it off the page but on the page, and stick all my bits to my photo and then to the background, and then I add more bits. Yeah, you'll see. So I'm using my adhesive to stick all my bits together. At this point I was like, oh, I better mark out where my tag's going so that I leave room for it. Using my ATG. I haven't used wet glue to stick this page together, so I'm hoping that it stays together because it's acrylic paint, it's not bumpy and lumpy or anything like that, so we'll see what happens. I didn't like the way that the paint strokes looked down the bottom there, so that's why I've added this little cluster of the pattern papers. I ummed and ahed about that brighter, darker pink, but there's a few splashes of that in that leaf up the top, not leaf, that flower up on top of the photo. So I figured that that was okay, and end up bringing in a third point. And like I said, I do that off camera, but I do bring in a third point of that more vibrant pink to the top left, and it kind of completes that visual triangle. This leaf that I'm playing with now is one that I cut from the pattern paper. I felt that there was a little weird gap there, so I'm filling it. Then I'm going to pop this photo, that's not a photo, this flower on top. I found a sheet of the craft foam. I was like, hey, I'll just use that. I've seen it in Riot, and it's a reasonable price, but it's still more than what I want to spend on adhesive. So I'll just stick with my cardboard when I run out of this. So again, I'm going to pop up the word this for my title because I wanted that at the same level as the rest of the words. Making sure that I don't have any bits that I haven't stuck down, adding in that leaf from the ephemera pack, this flower. I made Hunter go and have a look at this page after he came home from school when I completed it because he's never been one that's like embraced the fact that flowers aren't necessarily girly, they're just flowers. And he looked at it and he said, oh, that's nice, Mum. I said, there's lots of flowers on it. And he went, it's okay. I don't mind. That's all right, Mum. Bless his little cotton socks. So I'm just adding some foam adhesive behind a couple of pieces just so that it stays where I want it. Adding some gold twine to my tag. I'm going to tie that in a bow and tuck that in. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the reinforcer for my tag came from that same pattern paper, but it's the other side. And I'm going to add lots of splatters with my gold. Now, like I said, I thought that I was done. I came back after the camera was off and I couldn't be bothered putting the camera back on. I'm sorry if that bothers you. But I came back and added some more of those paper layers from down the bottom. Here are the close-ups on the video. And I just finished off that top cluster. You can see it here in the still photo. I really hope that you have enjoyed seeing all of these pages with this one collection. Would you believe I still have more goodies left? So I will add the rest of my bits back into my stash, I think. Though I'm really trying not to add more to my stash, but that's okay. I will use this. I've got a background partially made that I can use it on, I think. So yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed my shares. I've had an absolute ball creating with this collection. It is absolutely stunning. I do love everything Zoe does. So I will leave you with the last couple of close-ups. Make sure you follow the links in the description box below. There will be links to Anna's Craft Cupboard, to the blog, to the shop, to me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And thank you ever so much for stopping by. Have a fantastic day. Bye.